That's exactly how I felt after watching this week's episode. I just finished episode 11 and 12, and oh my freaking goodness. Yeah, I just have to sigh. That's how I feel. Alright, so hey everyone, my name is Deborah. And for those of you who don't know, my K-drama reviews, I normally give my favorite scenes, my least favorite scenes, and then tell you what I thought about it as a whole. My number one favorite scene this week, out of all the scenes this week, was when Kwang Soo was with the girl who many people have been hating on, and I said she kind of got on my nerves. I liked her, and then she got on my nerves, but she just redeemed herself this week when she put the headphones over his head when he was having his attack, and she put the headphones over his head to try and make him feel better, and he got better from it. So, and she didn't judge him, and she was just there for him when his whole parents stuff happened, and she came to the house to meet him. She didn't make fun of him. She was truly matured about it. So I just fell in love with her, and that was just so touching. So that's my number one favorite scene this week. My number two favorite scene this week was the scene where the brother called his mom. Finally, I was so touched by that scene, even though he had to go spoil it after that. But yeah, that was my number two favorite scene that I just loved, and I was like, oh. My number three favorite scene this week was when she was at the backseat of his car and she had the text on her phone and she was showing it to him. That was so touching. I was just like, oh, this is so cute. And she was crying, even though what happened after that I had a problem with. But yeah, I really love that scene. My next favorite scene was when the ex finally moved on and he didn't try showcasing on the news the whole information about Jaehyeo and Jaebon, and he decided to let go of what's her name, Gong Hyo-jin too, to also let go of Gong Hyo-jin Hae-soo. So that really said a lot about him, and I just love that about him. He redeemed himself. It was like a lot of people were redeeming themselves in this episode. So yeah, that was another scene that I loved. Now my last favorite scene this week, which I was thanking Jesus for, because the scene where he told her, dude, are you really gonna be acting this way just because I'm your first official good boyfriend? If you're gonna be acting, if you know you're gonna act this way just because you don't have experience, then you better go out and get experience first so you stop nagging me or shut up. I'm like, yes, finally, because there's a limit. Oh my goodness. So I was really happy when he told her that. I'm sorry, I just liked when he told her that because she needed to shut up. Now with the nagging. Now let's go to my least favorite scenes. My number one least favorite scene was the scene where his friend found out that for sure everything that was going on with him, and he was just crying, and he told Dr. Joe and he was crying, and I just felt so sad for him, even though I was really happy that he told Dr. Joe, which I'll get to later, but I was really sad for him, so I didn't like that scene. My number two least favorite scene was the scene with the brother who I thought had just redeemed himself with his mom, but no, he had to go start doing another evil genius plan to bring down Kang-woo, not Kang-woo, well, he is kind of Kang-woo, but to bring down Jo In-sung for a crime he didn't even commit. So yeah, I was really mad at the brother, so that's another scene that I didn't like. Now my next least favorite scene this week was the scene where Hae-soo is gonna be told about the whole Jaehyeo situation, etc. So yeah, I know that is not gonna end up well. Even from the preview we saw that it didn't end up well, and she didn't want to accept that fact. She was in denial. So that was another thing that I didn't like at all this week. Now let's go to what I thought about the drama as a whole. Alright, like I've been saying, I love the realisticness. I love how they stuck to it being realistic. That was awesome. But number one, okay, my number one whole thought about the drama this week, I said it. Well, I didn't tell you guys, but I told you I was gonna tell you when everything is pieced together a little bit more for me. I've had my suspicions from the beginning, not from the beginning, but I think after the first 2 or 4 episodes that it was the mom that did it. But I wasn't really sure because there wasn't any other proof, but I have been suspecting that it's her. So I'm really glad that we got to find out in this episode that it's her. But then again, I don't know if you can really say the mom is the one who did murder, because they all went through so much abuse that mentally they were not okay. So you can psychologically blame it on the mental trauma that they had to go through, and on the husband himself. He caused his death for himself. I think that's the best way to say it. But yeah, I knew that was the mom that did it, and I felt really bad for every one of them for all they had to go through. I don't know about you, you might be mad at the mom, but the mom doesn't even realize what she's done right now because she's in a whole dissociation denial phase right now, so she doesn't even remember that she did that, or she's blocking and suppressing the memories of her doing that. So I kind of feel for the whole family. I really do feel for the whole family. Now my next thought about this drama, something that I noticed, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but have you noticed that every time, just like they pointed out, right, they pointed out how Jaehyun started seeing Kang-woo more when he was with her. What I think is, and if you've noticed, especially it was really showcased in this episode, and that's what, after his comment, I started watching and observing, and I noticed this, is that whenever he leaves Haesoo, that's when he wants to see Kang-woo. And from the whole information we've gotten, and especially from Dr. Joe's conversation with his ex-wife, you see that Leo is in so much guilt. So each time he sees Haesoo, he feels like he shouldn't be seeing her, he shouldn't be that happy. So he brings her out the Kang-woo in him, who always gets hurt or hurts himself or wants to commit suicide because he feels he's not worthy of that happiness, because Jaehyun feels he's not worthy of the happiness he's getting with her. So she makes him feel even more guilty and want to harm himself. But because of the facade and everything that he's put for himself, he can't do that physically. So mentally, he's doing that to himself, which is really, really sad. So that's what I think, that Kang-woo comes out each time to bring out that guilty, like also Dr. Joe said, but Kang-woo mostly comes out after he's seen Haesoo because he's feeling guilty about being so happy and he wants to do something to harm himself. He doesn't feel he deserves that happiness, and so that happens. But I thought that was pretty interesting though. But I'm really glad how everything has been laid on the slate, even though I'm gonna feel really bad for Haesoo when she finally accepts it, because I know she's gonna go through a whole denial stage. Even from the preview, we've already seen that she's gonna go through a whole denial stage before she finally agrees that yes, my boyfriend has an issue. And don't be shocked, this is my thought, don't be shocked if you see that they get separated for a long time, because the writers are really smart. They've already started giving us clues that she's gonna be away for a long time, so we shouldn't be shocked. And I have a feeling that when she goes on her trip, that she's been disturbing us about this whole episode, is when Jaehyun is gonna have his whole treatment. Then they can come back together, master son style, at the end of the day, happy and live happily ever after. Even though I hate when K-dramas do that, when they get separated for a long time and then they come back together. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting, and I really can't wait to see when actually, I don't know if I really can't wait to see it, because when J-Bomb's brother finds out that it was his mom that did it, oh my goodness, all hell is gonna break loose. Like, what the heck? I went to prison for you, I spent my life in prison for you. Even though it's his mom, but still, oh my goodness, I really want to see his reaction. I want to see if he's gonna react in a horrible way, or if he's just gonna be sorry and guilty for all he did to Jaehyun. I really want to know how he reacts to it. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see, so I'm really excited to see that, and I'm really not excited to see that in case it comes out really bad. So yeah, that's another thing that I had with this week's episode. But I love the bromance between the family, especially when Kang-soo was going to see his friend and they were all high-fiving him, and when they were having the whole water fight, that was really sweet and that was really cute. So I love the realistic conversations with them. But I must admit though, there were times when the drama was going really slow and I really wanted to go on YouTube and listen to some music or do something else, because it was really going really slow. But still, even if it's going really slow, it still has some parts that draw you back in, even if you lose your attention, which I like with the drama. It's not a drama that it goes really slow and then you're just like, I'm done with this. But there are things that still hold you interested and you want to find out the truth and what's going on and still keep you into it. So I love that. And I love how it builds the climax. So you were just calm because of how slow it was, and then suddenly you're on an all-time high. So that's really, really cool though. So I really, really like it for that. But yeah, I love this week's episode. The revelation was slightly shocking, but not fully shocking because I had my suspicions. But it was really interesting seeing how everything worked out. I think the most shocking thing this week for me was the fact that Jo knew about it, because I didn't think he'd know about it. But the fact that he actually saw his mom do it and he's in denial and etc is what was really shocking to me. But his mom doing it wasn't shocking to me. So yeah, let me know what part of the drama was shocking for you this week in the comments down below. I really can't wait for him to get treatment, and I hope he gets treated really fast, and I hope he doesn't die from the illness. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the drama this week. It was really that's all I can say. I don't even have words for it. Just that's how I felt about it. So yeah, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and keep being the awesome beautiful people you are. I cannot wait for this week. From me to you, you know I've got some love for you. Peace.